captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Yes, sir. On a Friday with literally no sports playoff action tonight on Friday evening. However, a ton of baseball to dive into. As always, on Friday, my man Jaden Chandler Parnell is with me to break down some things. Two teams facing elimination last night, the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Stars stay alive. They keep their little pinky finger a grip on the cliff. However, without further ado, I will break everything down with my man JCP. What's the deal, man? Your Heat, I think they still winning in 6, but it is hilarious what happened over the last 2 games, literally getting blown out in blowout fashion.
First, before we start off, for the jersey, I'm just playing. It's one of those things where it's like, so I think I'm more upset about I think game 4 than the game 5 one. The game 4, I think it's one of those things. Game 3, they saw how bad they beat them now. They thought, no, maybe it might be a little bit of a walkover. Game 4, yeah, no. Game 5, and then I think last night was just one of those things where it's like, I honestly, excuse me, I've had a little thing caught in my throat. All goddamn morning. But no, it's one of those things where honestly, as a fan, I won't lie to you. First, second, third quarter, or like first, second quarter, I'm sitting there, probably slumped in my bed, just like leaning back, just like, man, what are we doing? Like, what is this? And then, honestly, as the game went on, I had a little bit more faith. I mean, if you watch the Heat, only I think end up losing by 13. You take away the Sam Hauser 3 that he hit from the parking lot on an offensive rebound, 10, and they have a 10. I mean, just basically to put it is, I'm honestly, from watching that game to waking up this morning, I feel a lot better. I thought the Heat were right there, where they had the chance to take it. It's just they couldn't get any stops, and by that point, they let the Celtics get too hot. I don't know if Derek White's going to shoot. Derek White shooting 4 for 5 is probably, that dude hasn't shot like that in like 15 years.
He went 6 for 8.
That dude, like, he is so inconsistent with the shooting. Like when he gets strokey like that, when he gets streaky, excuse me, like they all go in, they're all going to go in. It's just one of those things. I thought that he got 1 or 2 more stops, they would have been okay to maybe go on a run. It's just they couldn't get the stops. You give them the stops, I like what they did. It's just, yeah, I'm with you. I think they get it in 6. I also do think that when they end it real quick, I thought when they sat Gabe Vincent, that was kind of like the writing on the wall for me. They were like, hey, we know we might not get this game, so we're just gonna save Vincent and not let him even get. I'm sure like it did affect him too a little bit, but he could have played maybe. But they're just like, hey, let's just get game 6 in Miami. Because they maybe could have won without him, but I thought that they needed his ball movement last night. I thought the ball got a little too stale at some points. They let the crowd get into it too much. But basically, anything that could have gone wrong on a road game went wrong, and they still only lost by like 10-13, which I know sounds like a lot, but if you watch the game, that should have been like 20-25. So,
Yeah, now 10 points
I come away
in basketball is nothing.
I come away a little shaky, but I'm optimistic for game 6. Now, if they lose game 6, you might see a different version of me, but yeah, I kind of think they forfeited the game without forfeiting the game, if you know what I mean. Because like obviously they still tried to play and everything, but that team just didn't look like they had it. Lowry had the case of the butterfingers. Bam Adebayo just couldn't hold on to the ball anytime he got into the paint. I thought there was a few missed calls in the refs in. Just a whole lot of nastiness. That's the best way to put it. There's my little tangent. Now we're good. Hey, Heat in 6. Let's go.
Now I do think the Heat take care of business in 6 because I know Jimmy Butler, and I know he don't want to go back to Boston for a game 7.
You know that plane ride last night.
Yeah, no. Ain't nobody have a phone out. I guarantee you that.
No talking. Back to high school days. No talking.
Yeah.
All quiet on the way home.
No phones, no talking. And if anybody want to eat, you got to ask me first.
And I got to try it. No, the biggest thing, though, I would say the mad before we move on is I'm more mad at the Celtics, I think, than the Heat. I've told you this multiple times. I just want to get this out in the air. I'm mad at the talent that the Celtics. I don't want to say are wasting, but just like mismanaging. I guess that's the right word. Like y'all should not be down 3-0 to the Heat. Maybe should be an even series. They should have not gone down 3-0. They should have won one of the games. It's just frustrating because you see how much talent now. All of a sudden they're down 3-0. They apparently have no pressure in how well they play. If pressure does that much to you that you go down 3-0 to that team, man, y'all need some. They need to do something else in the gym than shooting. They need some.
Nah, they definitely got a. I don't want to say a problem. It's like the ego is like infused. They come off the Sixers, and even that series shouldn't have gone to 6 or 7, whatever it did go to.
All the series have gone way too long so far.
Yeah, and it's like that's what concerned me coming into this series. That's why I was on Heat at plus money because they didn't take care of business against the Hawks. They didn't take care of business against the Sixers, and now you're coming up against a team that's 10 times better on defense than both of those teams. But I think it was just more like we're the greatest in the world. We're the greatest players in the world, greatest team in the world.
Humbly. Don't forget
Humbly, the greatest in the world. And they show up and they can't hit a shot. It also shows how awful the NBA is because the threes aren't falling. A team this talented literally stinks. Which means, are they really talented? Or if you shoot 27 threes, eventually you're going to hit 10.
Right. I have a question for you. Do you think they keep Jaylen Brown now? Because there's no way they were going to keep both Tatum and Brown. Do you think they keep both of them now even after a loss? Because even if they take it to 6 or 7, do you think they keep them now because they showed just enough for some fight after being down 3-0? Or do you still think, like...
Man,
well, I guess here, what do you think they should do and what do you think they're actually going to do? That's a better way to put it. Like, if you were in this situation, say you lose to the Heat in 6 or 7, like, what would you do as a Celtics coach versus what you think they're going to do? Because I think they're going to keep them together, even though they should maybe consider listing the offers for somebody.
I think Tatum and Brown is the last thing you need to get rid of. Two of the generational talents. If they could ever get some right leadership and as far as coaching goes, maybe get a veteran point guard in there. The coaching is the problem, if you ask me. They win these last 2 games because of threes falling. They lose the first 3 games because they go ice cold. And I know that you're saying that has nothing to do with coaching, but coaches need to get these players' mind better. They need to get these players more prepared. They need to get these players in better situations to score. The threes aren't falling. Get Tatum in the baby post, man. The old Kobe Bryant, Carmelo elbow area, and let him go to work there. I mean, he probably doesn't even know how to, but a player of his talent and his size should be able to have that mid-range post-up game. And that will slow down the game. That'll also get him to the free throw line. That'll get him rolling. And then all of a sudden the threes start falling. Instead of waiting 4 games, 5 games for the threes to fall for you to win a game,
Right.
The coach needs to scheme some things better, man. They have no big man presence outside of Robert Williams, who, honestly, I mean, offensively is nothing but a great defensive help.
Hey, I'll give props to his defense for that. But yeah, offensively, shooting 80% is good and all, but when you have the offensive range of Shaq, like it's, especially in today's NBA, that's gonna be a little.
Not even Shaq, bro. Shaq was a dominant beast, dog. Shaq had some of the best.
Shoot.
Yeah, but he Robert Williams don't need to shoot, dog.
That's all I'm saying. I'm talking about the shooting aspect. I'm not comparing
Yeah.
him to Shaq any other asset except for the fact that like you didn't see Shaq when he got the ball turning around like posting up and shooting like a 10-foot like mid. He's like, nah. But I mean, even then, Shaq could actually back a dude down. I think Robert Williams only like catches lobs and putbacks right now, basically.
Yeah, offensively they have nothing down low outside of Tatum and Brown and a few guards that can get streaky, as you said, and hit some threes. I think they need a
They
point
don't even
guard.
have Brogdon anymore. I just said they're one of their point. I'm glad you were going to bring up point guard. I hope I don't cut off too much. Like Smart, kind of not really a point guard. He's more of a shooting guard. And then they got Brogdon, who's supposed to be their true point guard, but has elbow issues and can't shoot for shit right now. So they're in some trouble offensively when it comes to like the playmaking role of their offense.
Yeah, so that's the 3 aspects I would change. Try to get you a veteran point guard that can get Tatum and Brown in some better spots instead of them having to go one-on-one every time for everything. Turn them into some. They should be able to catch and shoot sometimes. They should be able to backdoor cut and get some layups. Tatum and Brown need a coach and a point guard that can get them easy buckets. And on top of that, they need a big man that can help them out every now and then and just say, hey, man, give me the ball on the post. Let me go to work. I'll kick it out to y'all if they double. Let's get something rolling. Let's get to the free throw line. They need better coaching. And again, they need a veteran point guard, I think. And they need a big man with any kind of talent. I can't think off the top of my head.
Being a Suns guy, what do you think about so I was thinking about playmaker, and you said they kind of need a big guy with offense. What do you think about the Suns? Like, in the Celtics make a little trade where maybe the Suns trade either Chris Paul or DeAndre Ayton, maybe both, probably not both, but trade maybe one of those two to the Celtics for like obviously not Jaylen Brown, but maybe like maybe a pick or two, and then like Robert Williams or Grant Williams or Derek White, like one of the better role players, like not definitely on the back of the bench, but maybe somebody that's a little higher up. Especially like the Chris Paul role, I feel like they could definitely get some better trade for Chris Paul back. What do you think about that? Do you think they should maybe lean back towards? I think Chris Paul in this team would be.
I mean,
interesting
for the Celtics, that'll be amazing for the Celtics.
That's what I was meaning by
if the Suns. Yeah, I just don't think that's a possible trade. If the Suns giving up Ayton and Chris Paul, they expect.
Oh no, I'm not saying both. It's just one or the other. There's no way they're going to give up both to the same team.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have I don't know, Chris Paul. I hate to say it, man. I love Chris Paul with all my heart. I just think he's too old to be effective in this league. We've seen it year in and year out, even the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, even going back to his Clippers days, I don't know if he did something bad as a kid or his karma, but every time the playoffs come, something happens to where he's sitting on the bench looking sad as hell instead of being in the game. And the older he gets, the worse it gets. So I don't know if Chris Paul would be the guy that I would go after. I mean, if Chris Paul, even 2018 Chris Paul would be a great piece for this Celtics team. Yeah. I think their problem is they keep going after score first point guards.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think they have enough scoring. They need to do
like they went from Kyrie to Kemba to I don't even know this Brogdon guy. I mean, I've heard his name over the last 5-6 years, but
I think did he win a ring with Giannis? Maybe he was gone by then. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy who now he's off the bench, but they got him to be the point guard. He's more of a scoring first guy even too. So it's like they literally have not got that pass first like kind of mindset with the point guard. Which I mean, if you watched their offense last night, you're like, oh, why do they need a point guard? You saw the ball movement and everything, but it's those little moments when they just need like that space. Like Marcus Smart can do it. But he was drafted in the league as a lockdown shooting guard who just has now expanded his 3-point to hit threes a little more consistently and then has had to evolve into being their only point guard. Don't get me wrong, I like Marcus Smart, but he's getting old too. Like you can't ask him to be like, hey, you got to be our main ball guy and everything, and then oh yeah, on the other end we want you to go lock up Caleb Martin or Jimmy Butler. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I think they need some veteran leadership on the bench to help out Joe Mazzulla if they're going to keep him, which at this point I think they do now. Now they've won these 2 games.
I think he's gone regardless unless they win a ring.
I mean, they already kind of said they signed him an extension, basically, like early in the season, or at least they've already talked about like how they're probably going to do it. So that's why I said that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
that's crazy, man. This guy gets paid to do this.
See, if they are going to leave him, though, I think they are going to get like better assistants that come across and help. But if not, they're probably going to get a veteran guy like a D'Antoni type to coach them. I'm not saying D'Antoni's going to go there because he's probably going to go to Philly, but a coach like that.
Man, can you imagine D'Antoni and Joel Embiid?
I mean, dude, that's the
talk
rumor how
about
they're going to do it to keep
polar
Harden.
opposites.
They're talking to do that to keep Harden. They're going to try to keep Harden around. That's what they're saying.
Oh my god!
The whole business is run backwards, dude. Like
that'd be hilarious.
I hate to say it. The more I know this crossing over sports, the more I think about it, it's like the ownership group that owns Philadelphia. I think that's like Josh Harris and all them. Man, Commanders fans. If they run the Sixers like they run the Commanders, you might go from Dan Snyder, who don't get me wrong is a dirtbag of a human being, to ownership group that like might be better humans. But I don't know, man. Like if they, because yeah, you see the way they run those 76ers. Yeah, just even the fact that rumors are out there like, hey, we're gonna go get D'Antoni. Like,
no, I'm gonna be honest, man. Just to stay on this point, every single coaching like this guy's like Doc Rivers to Phoenix, D'Antoni to the Sixers, horrible fits.
Doc Rivers to Celtics.
Horrible fits.
Yeah, I don't get it. Monty Williams maybe for the Celtics? I feel like that'd be a bit of a better fit.
Man, Monty Williams is the best coach in basketball, bro.
You think he's the best free agent coach that's out there right now, like between Nick Nurse and all those high
I've said since 2012 he's the best coach in the NBA. Period.
Nick Nurse or Monty? Monty's been in the league since 2012.
Yeah, he was coaching the Pelicans back then.
Like he was the head coach. Let's say Monty Williams.
Yeah, just to tell you a small story, the New Orleans
I didn't
Pelicans,
realize he coached in 2012.
yeah, ownership group did them dirty. Dirty. We was like 10 games out the playoffs, and they was like, if you don't make the playoffs, you fired, bro. Make the
Terrible.
playoffs, run into this might have been 2013, run into the Warriors right at the beginning of their dominancy.
Oh, was that the AD year? When, like,
Yeah,
they swept AD in 4.
big trash.
basically?
Yeah, and
Oh, I remember now.
then they fire Monty, and then I think he goes and is an assistant in Philly for a few years, and then or maybe it was
Yep, okay,
OKC, and then
Something like that.
yeah, and then when he got signed to Phoenix, man, I looked at my friend and I said, Phoenix about to go to the playoffs, and he thought I was on crack because the last 4 seasons Phoenix couldn't get over 25 wins.
When they were like, 20 and
Yeah,
62.
that's why I'm so mad at Phoenix, bro.
Yeah, I think they screwed up. I think teams are going to realize this is something I found very interesting when I was listening to a podcast. I think, especially if the Nuggets win, and especially if the Heat gets to the finals, I think we're going to see more. And I agree with this guy completely. I think we're going to see more NBA teams. Like, you know how it goes. Like when the Heatles, like when they had the big 3, it's like, all right, that's the new thing now. Big 3, big 3, big 3. The Warriors hit threes and make a super team. Then it's like, all right, super team, super team, super team. Now I think we're getting to the point where it's going to be core. So, like, for example, they're going to be like Jokic. So no matter what, like Jokic, Murray, and who else? We'll say Porter Jr. That's kind of like the core.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to see more teams moving forward. Like, all right, we got to keep a core together, at least certain guys. I think if the Nuggets or Heat win, which I'm hoping that at least the Heat do. If not, I think the Nuggets are going to handle the Celtics. I think that's what we're going to see. Hopefully, I'm with the guy. I think we're going to see more than the NBA. Where now more teams. We're going to see more of like the lower teams that are trying to get ahead of other teams by a few years. Be like, hey, maybe we just keep these 2 guys together and try to build around them, which would be awesome to see because then I think that in turn would turn into all right. Let's try to keep more coaches around. Let's try to keep more this around.
No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't,
with you.
I don't know
I think they're
why.
too quick to change.
Yeah,
Which is stupid.
it's
Like they think. Go ahead.
no, my bad. We both just getting excited.
No, I was basically just gonna finish off by saying like it's just stupid like how like nowadays like it's so like they want to turn it over so quickly like because they failed. It's like all right, we failed. We got to turn it over as a failure. It's like no, you can take like little wins from especially like some situations like Doc Rivers being fired. That one I kind of get. He's been there for a while. It's gotten a little bit stale. The Suns I get like kind of get because of the flame outs and everything, but like I think they're truly just starting to build something. Especially like now if they would have flamed out and they didn't have KD and they had still the same core, yes, I getting rid of Monty.
See,
Getting rid of him.
If you
Getting rid of him when they just got KD and he was just starting to try to learn everything. Like that's when it's like, okay, you were jumping the gun way too soon.
that whole the Phoenix Suns, they did exactly opposite of everything you just said. They took
which is
a
what's
4-player core, and broke it up, took a winning coach, fired him, and I guarantee you the Suns will not have a winning season for the next decade.
And if they do have winning seasons, like I think I hate to say it, but I think their playoff like ring window is gone unless they have like a run like the Heat do and they like just
I mean, honest
Yeah, they
question.
look-
How long do you think Kevin Durant can play basketball? 3 years?
How
2
old is he
years?
now?
I think he's
How old is he?
36.
I see him going max. Same thing I said with LeBron. I see him max going 4 to 5, but if he gets to that 4 to 5, he's not going to be like what we see him now. Like max 4 to 5, I would not be shocked if he was done in 3, just because like it's just those little injuries, man. Like the rolled ankle, the little stuff like that. Like he was out for, I hate to say it, he was out for like 2 weeks with that rolled ankle. Like that's not good. Like I know because it like that one, like I know it didn't look the worst. It was like a quick little roll, but it's like just the injuries are starting to come up more and more, and he's been out longer and longer. It's just yeah. I give it like we'll say 3 years just to go in the middle. I'll say like 3 to 4.
I say he's already done. He's done.
Oh, we aren't gonna see like 40, 20, 10 KD anymore like we saw with
He's
the
done. He
Warriors.
looked.
Second he left the Warriors, I think like that part of his career started to go. And then the toe on the line is basically where like plateaued now. I think it's starting to go down a little bit. Like he can still be good and be great like LeBron or everything. It's just like I don't think we're gonna see him take over anymore. And that's what sucks is then you need 40 minutes out of Booker, and then when his legs get tired, you lose by 30 to the Nuggets.
Yeah, you got nobody. And now you don't even have a coach.
I don't get why they traded everybody away. It was stupid. Like, now you look back on the trades, like, man, with how good Mikal Bridges is, they could have maybe at least kept Cam Johnson. Like, they overpaid. Their new owner overpaid a lot for.
Yeah,
bro. It's just a funny story because you like the old owner was like, no, we aren't trading these players. No, we aren't trading these players for KD. The second new owner comes in, it's like, oh yeah, we're doing it, and then yeah, you just crazy.
No, it's the dumbest. I can't wait for this thing to age. It's gonna go down as the dumbest trade in NBA.
They're so lucky.
In the decade.
No, they're lucky that somebody a few months before them decided they wanted that tall Frenchman. So they're lucky. They lucked out so much.
See,
that Gobert trade.
I would say this to that: the Timberwolves were trash before the trade, trash after the trade.
Fair.
The Suns had a championship team with championship aspirations before.
Yeah, I agree with you with that part. Yeah, you got a good point there. Like, I definitely think the Suns. Like, I think the Suns trade's worse. Like, value wise, by far, Rudy Gobert, that trade is the worst. But overall, for like team wise, I'm with you. Yeah, I think the Suns, like, basically, to put it like nicely, they fucked themselves bad with this. Basically, they're in a lot of trouble in the future because you can't. Yeah, you can't just. I think that's what the biggest thing nowadays is. It's like, I don't want to say it's the TikTok era because these coaches are like 50 or 60 and like these owners are like 40, 50-year-old businessmen. But the 15, it feels like a lot more teams are thinking in the 15 seconds rather than watching the 15-second video rather than the whole 2-minute video to understand everything. Nice. That's where you're seeing the separation of the good teams and the great teams. And that's what obviously makes sports awesome. But it's just, man, you can see nowadays, like, man, there's some decisions that teams make. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you are just not thinking. Are you?
It's like
we got to win now. Got to win now. And
it's like a scapegoat thing. Like, oh yeah, no, it is his fault. It's his fault. It's his fault right here. I'm gonna fire him. It's his fault. I'm gonna fire him. That's why I love.
No, it's his fault. I'm gonna fire him.
That's why I love the Heat, bro. No matter what. I mean, y'all haven't had. I'm just throwing a number out there. Y'all haven't had 17 dominant seasons. But through those 17 seasons with the same coach and the same culture, y'all have built 2 or 3 different winning teams here and there.
Now, just for example, this last ever since we'll go bubble year, maybe the year before the bubble, it's basically been the same Heat team, the same coach, and yes, they were an 8 seed that shouldn't have been in this year, but it's basically the same team that was a 1 seed like last year. It's like you've kept the guys together, and you see how. I mean, let's just watch you watch a Heat game versus watching a Suns game. Those are 2 completely different levels of basketball. We'll just say we'll say Heat game 3 or game 3 or game 2 versus when it's like them actually all playing together, not just Jimmy versus the Suns game. The Suns, like one of the games they won against Denver. Like, you watch the Heat versus Suns, like you see ball movement. You see guys who played with each other for forever. You see chemistry. You see this versus Suns. It's a lot of ice the ball, a lot of your turn, my turn. And that's what happens that's the difference, like with you with building culture versus buying it. It's like,
right.
As much as KD was good and everything, it took him until like game 4 of that series of the semis, conference semis, to be comfortable with that team versus the team that's been comfortable for 3 years. Like, it's levels to the shit. And it's just like, there's a reason, like, people joke around like, oh, Heat culture. Like, there's an actual culture there. Like, you have the Suns lost all their culture with new ownership. The Sixers, they've never had a culture. They've built it on lies and other stuff.
They got the process, bro. It's still processing.
My God, I thought the process was like one of the coolest things when I was a kid. Like, oh, I like the idea of it. Like, hey, we're gonna build and be great, and then they just didn't build a culture. They just built assets. Man. Like, oh, okay, so we're just building a losing culture. We don't even have a culture anymore. Like, there's no culture there at all in Philadelphia at all.
No, there's that old saying when you
playing basketball,
when you tanking to lose, no matter what you get, they coming into a losing locker room, a losing culture. It's karma too, man. You can't tank for 6 years. They got rid of
Jimmy. They picked Ben Simmons over Jimmy.
Tobias Harris over me?
And Tobias?
Hey. But I love Jimmy Butler, bro. I've never thought of him as my favorite player, but I really do think he is my favorite player.
Side note, I saw a video yesterday about him. This made me fall in love with him even more. And they were, I think this is when the Heat were like up, I want to say in the series at 3-1 or 3-0 or something, or maybe it would have been last year. It's like, you've been up in this series. You guys have been dominating. What's been the whole thing for that? And he gets the biggest, like, I'm taking like shit eating grin on his face. He's like, we got Kyle Lowry. He just like giggles like a little kid, and he's just laughing. Kyle's like, shut up, bro. Like, it's dude's like an awesome teammate to play with and everything, which is says something about his leadership because he does have a different leadership style. He is going to get in your face. He is going to eat everything, and, like be mean. But like, dude, Bro's a great guy, honestly, overall, which is like truly awesome. That's why I love him the most. It's like you see the killer in him. He talks all the shit on the court. You get off the court, dude's probably the nicest dude you've ever met. And everyone who knows his backstory, like, hard to hate the guy, honestly. I just thought the story was hilarious because legit, he's just like, we got Kyle Lowry. He's like, bro, Kyle's been sucking, but he's a goofy guy for sure. Like, he definitely has a great personality because if you would have grown up, a lot of people I think who would have grown up in the situation he did would not look at life the way he does. So props to him for that first off, because dude's a dog. That's all you gotta say. Dude's a for real dog.
Nah, bro, that boy got that Jordan in him, dog. I don't know if that's
That boy is Jordan.
I don't know if that's Jordan's son, bro, but I'm gonna be honest with you.
Bro, I think it might be. I
Hey,
say it.
if I had to choose, I'd say that's his damn son, bro.
Looks more like him than his other sons.
Even I was watching The Last Dance. I think it was last Sunday morning, early as fuck. ESPN2 had it on or something, and I'm looking at Michael Jordan like, bro, you look just like Jimmy Butler, bro, with your bitch ass. I'm finna fire you up, bro. I'm talking about in the practice, the way they move, the way they walk.
It's. I know it's a funny conspiracy theory, but that's one of those things. Like, man, I hate to say it, but I'm almost like, I know that's like one of those weird things. Like, bursts are like, well, if you go back to this exact day, Michael Jordan was around the area. Like, I know it's like one of those where it's weird, but man, I tell you what, there's way too many conveniences with everything to be like, I don't know.
Bro,
Jordan just might be your daddy. He has no dad. Jordan was conveniently in the area. Jordan.
I'm telling you, I've seen it all, bro.
And it went away.
And then you look at it, and it's like this is what Jordan's son is supposed to look like on the basketball court. The mentality, it's crazy to me, man. We ain't got to get on that too much, but man, I can't unsee it.
Neither can I. The more I see the theory too, it's one of those things you watch it once, you're like, okay. You watch it again, it's like, and now it's to the point where I'm watching, it's like, God, he's the son. I don't care. He doesn't know his daddy's the son to me.
Nah, I wish I was a trillionaire so I could offer each of them $1 billion just to take a DNA test. But I know Jordan would never do it because that proved his infidelities back in the day. But
oh yeah, I would just love to even like do what you said, but maybe even like just for me to know. Like,
yeah, keep it between me, bro. Like, no, I promise you, this shit will not get out, dog.
Please, I want to know. No, it's really cool. I mean, yeah, like I just said, dude, like he looks a lot more like Michael than Michael's other sons do, which is crazy.
No, they look just so fucking like, bro. Just alike.
And his all of Michael's other sons are kind of like what, a little bit shorter. Jimmy's just 6'6".
It's crazy, dog. They literally like twins, bro. Like, I hate to even say it. They move the same too. It's like mannerisms on top of just looking alike to me, dog.
They both can't shoot threes either. I mean, hey. I'm just playing. They can hit a little 3-ball here and there.
Man.
A little bit.
I want to ask you this question about the finals. It's the old age question. I'm always on the rest versus rust. Because whoever goes into the series out of the East is going to be, I mean, the Nuggets finished the series, 2 weeks ago against the Lakers? By the time...
Actually, I can't. It was like Wednesday, bro. They've been chilling. NBA fucked that one up, didn't they?
I mean, the Lakers really not supposed to get swept right there. It's the Western
Conference. I mean, to
be
fair, though, I give a little bit more credit to the Nuggets and Suns than I do, like, because, hey, the Nuggets are pretty good. The Suns get 2 games on them. Props to them because the Lakers couldn't get any. So at least, like, for the Suns, I wanted to bring that part up because I didn't want to mention that when we talked about Suns. It's like, hey, at least a little bit of props to the Suns for putting up 2 games. But, yeah, I don't think they expected the Lakers to let the broom get them.
Man, I will say this. The Timberwolves got a game against this team before the Lakers did.
Too. Shout out Timberwolves. That's the team I couldn't think of.
Yeah. Now, I saw this stat. I'm about to...
I'd say, what were you gonna ask though?
I'll be screenshotting stuff. Oh, what do you think? You think rest? I forgot how the saying goes.
Rest versus rust.
Because I feel like the rust and the rest is on the same person. Because whoever's resting be rusty. I don't know, man.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Do you believe in all of that? Like, do you think whoever comes out the East is gonna be more in game speed, game mode, and game mentality, or do you think?
Usually, sorry to cut you off for your question, but the way I think about it is usually yes. Like most of the time, you want the little bit of extra rest, and like yes, it would be nice to have the little bit of extra, Like, John, I think this is one of those weird situations where I just don't think it's going to matter too. Because like usually the teams who rest, like yes, they're usually going to lose like a game or two. For example, like if I think the Heat move on, I think the Heat have taken game one every single series. I still think the Heat can maybe take game one, but I just think it's one of those things where like even if the Nuggets do get rest, I just think personally for them, usually for most other teams, I would say you want to play at least like a half or a quarter. Like the nice part about the Nuggets is they had to play a full game for like they got a full game in, so like they can afford to use the rest. I would say the Heat, if anybody, definitely need rest because of the injuries. But I think the Nuggets are going to just be just fine, honestly, with the rest, just because of the guy they got. I think they arguably have the best player in basketball right now, performing at his best in his best time. So I think rest or not, it might affect them like one game, but I don't think it's. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's like I said, even if the Heat move on, the Heat have taken game one of every series so far in the playoffs. So it's one of those things where I would expect the Heat to potentially even take game one regardless. But I just don't. I don't think rest is going to affect the Nuggets just too much because of the guy they got leading the way. I mean, I think if anything, makes them a little bit colder for game one. Maybe takes them a little bit longer to like get the juices flowing because they've been waiting for so long. But I think they should be fine. They're just so good this year that it's like it's to the point now where you can't deny it anymore. They're just so good that I just don't think anything. I don't think anything can really affect them. I think it's more of just can they not get in their own way at this point? Can they avoid the injuries? And can they just keep up the grind? I think coaching wise, if they get Spoelstra, I think that's going to be a really fun chess match between Malone and Spoelstra. If they get Mazzulla, yikes. I mean, I think that Spoelstra is definitely better than Malone, but I just think Malone's going to be gonna have some fun with that one. So yeah, like I said, I don't think it affects them too much, but I would want to rest a little bit, at least like maybe not this long, but you at least want like an extra day or two because this late in the season, yeah, some guys are sore and beat up. Getting an extra day or two is for sure huge on getting those joints like a little, especially the technology we have nowadays. Like yeah, those at least 2 extra days.
Yeah, speaking of the best player in the world, Jamal Murray is the first player ever to average 30 points on 50, 40, and 90% shooting in the conference finals.
And he's humbly the best player. That's how you back it up.
Yeah, man. I know you was talking about Joker, and it's arguably, it's not arguably, it's in stone that Joker is the best player, maybe in the world, and definitely on.
Yeah,
this
there's
team.
no discredit to Murray for real. Murray's been like, this is like what we said. I think we either said on my show or like 2 or 3 shows ago for you. Like, this is the thing the Nuggets have been missing these last few years. And now that they have him, like this is what they needed. This is what they really needed. Now their first finals ever. They're making more history. Jokic is making history. Murray's making history. Like, it just feels like it's their time, right?
It does, man.
It feels like the sun's setting in the west, and it's just
time
for them to come out.
I hate to say it, man. I feel like I would love to see the Heat and Jimmy get a ring, but it just does.
I know.
It feels like
it hurts.
It feels like the Nuggets' time, man, and I think it's gonna.
As much as I love Jimmy, I'm with you. It just feels like I just like I just don't. The Nuggets just are that. I think the Nuggets are the deepest and best team in the playoffs that are left, especially. Like I think they're deeper and better than the Celtics.
Yeah, no.
Celtics might have a superstar extra, but I think that the Nuggets are the better overall team for sure. And I don't think I'm too crazy to say that.
No, yeah. I don't think the Celtics.
Like you would take Nuggets. I think you would take Nuggets over Celtics, right? If you could pick like just one game, you got to pick your side you're playing for. You definitely play for Nuggets over Celtics, right?
Yeah, easily. Easily, not even a question. Especially right now, the way both teams are playing. I don't think the Celtics have an answer for Joker. Robert Williams, I think is too young, even though he's one of the best defensive players. Yeah,
I worry about him getting hurt too.
Exactly.
He hasn't been hurt yet, and he keeps grabbing his hammies and knees anytime he falls. So I'm just waiting for him to break apart. I think Grant Williams might be able to get under Joker's skin a little bit, but he's just basically going to be a little gnat on him, just like biting his ankles like a little cat.
Yeah, and then they throw Horford on him, and he just gets cooked up.
The Glacier.
Yeah, I don't think the Celtics have an answer. I think Bam is and I'm not saying Bam's going to shut Joker down, but I think Bam.
I think he has a better chance.
Way better, yeah.
He's actually no offense to the Celtics. He's actually known for like defense and everything. And like the thing that he can separate over Robert Williams is Bam can bring the ball up and then pull a midi to keep Jokic backpedaling and then get back on D and cover him. I mean, if Jokic makes a shot and Robert Williams is coming off the floor, Jokic basically gets a free like 10-second break to just run off the floor with him. So that's where I think like the little like subtle thing for Bam can put a little bit more pressure on him. And I just think like no offense to the Celtics, I think the Heat big men are playing better than the Celtics overall. Like Horford, I know has been playing better lately, but I almost would take Cody Zeller over him, and that's not me being a fan. Cody Zeller's been giving him good fucking minutes, and Horford's just been way too inconsistent. I just like the Heat's ability to be a little meaner too. I just don't know if the Celtics got that mean in them. Like the Grant Williams has that mean in it. I just overall I think they got too many nice guys on that team. Like Derek White's not going to fight anybody.
Nah,
Tatum's
yeah,
probably
that's
gonna
what
fight
Charles
anybody.
Barkley said. And I laughed so hard at that shit because
No, he's not wrong.
I remember a few coaches that I had. I let y'all date my daughters, which is a bad thing. Y'all are too nice. Y'all ain't nothing. Y'all got colorful drawers on. I was like, God damn, coach.
Y'all got different color shoes.
Your socks are perfect. You look too pretty. Y'all just some bitches. I was like, damn, coach.
I remember the same shit too. Like you don't need to look pretty to play the game. Just get your black cleats, get your white socks.
Yeah.
No swag.
Go out there and make some plays. Nah, yeah, I had a project ass coach from Miami, dog. That boy, hey man, hey, you see this motherfucker? This motherfucker think he the prettiest goddamn thing walking my. Hey man, we here to play ball, man. I'm like, God damn, bro.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. Because like, I can hear that accent. Like, that kind of reminds me of the Chicago accent a little bit. I got so many of them boys that. That's funny. Yeah, I love it. Hey, I love it too when like they get riled up. It's like, hey man. Said like 5 times. Like, bro, hey, I'm here. I'm right here. Hey man, I'm right here.
Hell yeah. Oh man. Before we get out of here,
no playoff action, by the way. What the hell?
Weird, right? It's gonna be a dead night. Luckily, the MLB has set up some beautiful matches up for us tonight. You got the Red Hot Rangers against the Red Hot Orioles.
Woo!
That is a game I'm looking forward to. Padres Yankees, two of the most underachieving superstar lineups in baseball. Although the Yankees 30-22, 10 head and shoulders above the Padres as far as
Padres should be way better.
Yeah, they both should be around 30-22 if you ask me. You also got the Phillies Braves NL East matchup. And then if you look at the night shift, some beautiful matchups there. Pirates, Mariners, and Red Sox D-backs.
Don't forget the game of the night. Astros Athletics.
I know. I'm trying. I keep forgetting. I keep looking at it to go see the line, and I'm like, I know the run line is like minus 200.
Minus 265. My run line's minus 152 for my app that tells me this stuff.
Yuck.
Yeah, that's if you're confident in one of your picks and you think you want to add a little juice, that's let's throw an Astros money line on it. That's a added something. For the MLB though, for the sorry, I'm trying to. Damn, I looked my fault. I just had this Astro line up.
You can get Astros minus 2.
Minus 166. That's what I got. Minus 2. Yeah,
you can get a minus 2 at minus 121. Or you can go 2 and a hook at plus 108.
That is crazy. That's the first 2 I think we've seen all year in baseball, right? I haven't seen a 2 at all.
Oh, I'm moving it. It's 1.
Oh, you're moving it to 2?
Yeah, it's 1.5 minus 150.
Yeah, I got minus 166. So I'm surprised they haven't moved it to 2 just yet.
Yeah, they rarely do that.
I know, because of the baseball and everything. That's why, like, the fact that it's even 166, so it's like, at that point, like, all right, just put some juice on it and make it 2.
Right.
Like, ain't nobody betting Athletics plus 1.5, and nobody wants to bet the Astros minus 1.5 for 166. Like, get out of here. Because then when they're like the Mariners and they win by 1, you're going to be salty. Like I was last night.
Nah, I can definitely see the Astros winning this game 3-2, 4-3, and it's just the way the game goes, bro. It's damn baseball, man.
If you don't have any picks, I'll roll through. If you're still finishing looking through, I'll roll through mine real quick since I do have some.
I got a few guarantees. No, I'm playing.
Ooh, all right. You got guarantees. I'll give up my maybes then because I got a lot of maybes. All right, for me, we got a ride here. Hashtag fade the fathers. I'm going to take Yankees money line just simply on the fact that I'm tired of betting on the Padres. I bet on the Padres 2 times against the Nationals. I think they lost both those games. No, I think it's only once actually. I lied, but man, I just hate the Padres. It's one of those things. I'm done betting them this year, like officially. I'm probably just either going to fade them or I'm just not going to bet their games. Like it's to the point where like I'm getting like irrationally like kind of mad at the fact that like these like I literally watched them lose to the Nationals. I think it was like 2 days ago. I'm like, these motherfuckers can't even beat the goddamn Nationals. But then they blow out the Mets by 30. Like I'm over them, so I'm for sure like I'm gonna fade the Fathers. Like any chance I get, if they play a good team, I'm probably gonna fade them just because stats I heard on Talking Baseball. I think on Wednesday they're batting under 600 OPS against good teams over 500, and then they're batting OPS with runners on base is below 600. Terrible. Can't win like that. Terrible. I kind of want to maybe take probably Cardinals because the way they've been playing it's a little weird, but I am scared of the Guardians. It's not one of the things where I want to kind of fade the Guardians because I'm not the most
Man,
I just don't like them. Let's be honest. I just don't like the Guardians the way they've been playing this year, even though they are third in the AL Central. Like they just
AL
I think I'll
Central
fade
is
it
fadeable. I think I saw a record. This is like a week ago, but I think the entire AL Central is like 66 and 150 thus far
oh
on the season.
easily. Easily. If they're easily. They're terrible. So it's one of the things the Cardinals are plus money. I do want to take them, but the Cardinals have been bad too. So it's one of those things like I guess if I lose money betting on a bad team, I'm just gonna kick myself. But I think the Cardinals probably should win that. I'm leaning towards Braves, but at minus by the way, it's me looking at my sports app, not my book. So minus 167 for the Braves. I'm just maybe take run line for fun, but it's one of those things like the Phillies are a little weird right now where they're kind of good, so I might stay away from that.
I think
I'm
the
probably
Phillies
gonna
come to
take.
play tonight.
I think they won yesterday, didn't they? Extras.
I really don't know, honestly. I was on college baseball hard yesterday, boy.
I didn't
And-
have any. I don't think I had any of it up when I looked just yet.
Oh yeah, no, the book's tripping. I ain't had no lines, but I was watching that
They're
shit.
weird.
Nah, the first 2
Dude,
days of
they've been
conference,
so weird with college baseball.
the first 2 days they gave me pretty much every line, and then yesterday I looked and it was like, here's 3 games, bro. We not. That's all you got. You can
We're
bet on
taking
these
the
three
day off.
games.
It's a Thursday. It's Thursday. We
Yeah,
ain't doing anything.
I ain't even looked today, but yeah, no, I was just watching last night. I watched LSU Arkansas, and then I watched Florida Vanderbilt.
That's decent. I think I'm gonna just wait for College World Series. I think at this point because I rode that little 4-legger with you, and I think 3 of the 4 teams lost. So it's like, all right, maybe I just shouldn't bet baseball right now.
Nah,
I knew it would. I wasn't mad.
Yeah, no, I was
Watched it, like,
laughing
well-
at myself because I was like, I don't even know why I did this, but I did it. It
I
was just-
was a little 10 to win 60, like or 70. I wasn't mad about it. It was just funny because I remember looking Notre Dame. I think it was down like 7-2 at one point. It's like, oh, all right. Well, don't even got to pay attention to this today. And I
yeah,
couldn't even like for my app. This is what made me realize I probably won't best baseball till the World Series. Is like for my app. So for people who don't know, I use the Score. It's the Canadian or like I think it's basically the Canadian version of ESPN, which I really love it and all that. They usually have everything. There's sometimes when you get into the sports that are a little more exotic, like college baseball, where it's like not the most popular. Like they straight up just didn't have like they had like 5 of the Notre Dame baseball games this year that they played, and then they just didn't have the game they were playing that day. So I'm like, oh, I can't even score watch this. Like it's weird. It's very, very weird. I don't know why they did that, but also by the way, last bet I wanted to give out Red Sox money line. Nope, sorry, D-backs money line. Let me flip it. I like the D-backs over the Red Sox.
with Sale pitching.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fade Sale. No offense to Sale. I think I've faded him pretty much this whole year so far, and I'm up enough. It's one of those situations where I'm up enough money where I've been fading him this year. It's like, yeah. And I'm mad at the Red Sox. They've lost 2 games to the Angels to me that I thought were pretty disgusting, and I like the way the D-backs have played the last 2 or 3. So I like for the plus money. I definitely don't mind. And that might be one of the bets where I throw in like screw it. I'm going to take the D-backs and the money line of plus money, and then throw in like the Astros at minus 235 just have a little more juice. That might be one of those for that, just because why not? But yeah, basically I think I'm just like Cardinals, Yankees, and D-backs. I think I'm on all dogs today. On them dogs.
Nah,
Oh, except for the Astros, I guess. I might take, and then I'm also tempted to maybe take Pirates to end it just to fade the Mariners, but we'll see. I don't know if I can do it.
yeah, I'm on Pirates plus 133.
Ooh, you
100%.
do like the Pirates.
Yeah, bro. I fade the Mariners every chance I get. Mitch Keller, baby, my dog, gonna shut him out.
That boy Mitch.
Pirates been scaring me, but I think they get right this weekend. The Arizona Diamondbacks Red Sox game is the guaranteed bet of the day. Can't lose on this bet right here. Give me the over 8.5, baby. Red Sox are gonna put up 9 by the 3rd inning on young Brandon Fault. Guarantee you that. If the Diamondbacks win, bro, they're gonna have to put up 10 runs, and that's just the cold hard facts. The
Damn.
Red Sox put up 7 runs in warm-ups, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Their offense is really good.
And Brandon Fault is a young buck, so I'm not gonna say he's just struggling, but he's figuring out how to pitch at this level, man. This is his third or fourth start ever at the major league level, so it's hard to get major league
So the guy
hitters
for the
out.
D-backs?
Huh?
You said the guy for the D-backs is third or fourth major league start?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's his
I just want to make sure we're on the same game still. That's why.
I think it's his third start this season. I think he had one start last season. But yeah, Brandon Fault, man, 0-1, 7.65 ERA. I think the Red Sox tear his little arm up.
That boy fat. Fad. I don't know. It's fatted. If you had to say all the letters.
Yeah. Nah, it took me a while, but it's pronounced Fault.
What? There's no U or L in that word at all.
Yeah.
Bro has to be foreign.
Of course. I ain't gonna lie. I learned that from your boy Jolly Olive. I didn't know how to say it, and then he did a whole breakdown.
Fault. Yeah, I would never guess fault there. Like a fault line? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, the way Jolly Olive spelled it on the screen, it was like FAUGHT.
Oh.
I don't know. But give me the over.
By the way, I just say that guy's given up 6 runs, I think 3 runs and 1 run in his 3 starts. So you're on to something with the over.
Yeah, he's taking on the Red Sox. The only thing that does scare me about the over is man, Diamondbacks suck against left-hand pitching, and you got one of the best left-hand pitchers of all time on the mound. It's gonna be absolute ugly.
He has looked better though. I will admit, he has been looking a little bit better. Like he's fine. I mean, it helps that he's finally able to like kind of get in the rhythm. I'm sure too, with all the injuries and everything. But yeah, that is a little scary for me for the D-backs money line.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad bet, but I think Red Sox are
might not be a good one.
Yeah, I think Red Sox are gonna be up 6-7-0 by the third or fourth inning, and
that's for sure my least favorite of the day I gave out.
We're gonna roll the carpets up on that one. The other bet I got, I only got 3. Give me the Rockies. Plus 180, guaranteed money. New York Metropolitans, trash. They play New York with Scherzer on the mound.
Whoa. You're going to fade your team?
Every day. I'm at the point.
The fact you're betting on the Rockies, though.
I'm at the point with the New York Mets where it's like, I'd rather lose money and y'all win than I lose money and y'all lose.
Man, that's a terrible feeling. That's what we call no man's land. You are smack dab in the middle of no man's land, trying to get to the mud, running back to your trench with mortars flying everywhere.
Yeah, bro.
Praying.
The New York Mets, man, my God, pissed me off this season. I don't even want to go on a rant again. I went on a rant the other day on them for like 15 minutes on this show.
I love that rant because I think I lost their money line that day too. So I'm like, you know what? Preach, my brother. Preach.
It's ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous with how much money they make. $400 million. We don't, like you said, we don't got to go on the rant. I remember that rant fresh in my mind because it's sad, man. They should be playing a lot better than they're playing. Like they need to figure out their pitching.
The Miami Marlins are ahead of them in the goddamn division.
I don't know if
race.
you know this too. I think so. So this is going to be a little wrong because I'm trying to remember exactly from talking baseball. I watched this on Wednesday. So I think they are like bottom 5 and getting a hit or going through the order the first time against a pitcher. They're bottom 5 the second time, and then they're like top 5 the third time. So they basically the stats say they don't get anything going until they see a starting pitcher the third time, which is not a good sign. And they're the only team in the MLB without a home run in the first inning. I do remember that. Only team. Oakland Athletics have a home run in the first inning. Like I know that stat doesn't mean nearly as much, but it's just one of those things where it's like they're getting no offensive production in the beginning of the game, which is if you have good pitching, that's okay. But if your pitching struggling like theirs is, can't do it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that was their biggest, that was their strong point last season. Nimmo gets a walk, lead off. Marte gets a base hit. Francisco does something, and Pete Alonso brings him home. But yeah, it's just not working this year. And I hate
whatever reason.
And I love all these guys, love them to death. But man, I kind of feel like I've been tricked. Like I feel.
Do you think they're still a playoff team at least? Like, do you think they'll get the wild card?
Uh, too early to say no, but
It's not a good sign.
yeah, I have no
This
faith
is
in this
blind
team.
faith.
I really feel like I've been tricked, and I think the front office has been tricked. I think all of these players
Hey,
had the best year of their season last year, and now all of them are getting back down to the same old trash ass
did you say that on your
players.
show yesterday or the day
Yeah,
before? I think I just heard that recently. I thought it was from you. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think that they had the really really awesome season last season, and instead of like kind of realizing trying to fix the holes, I think they kind of
they doubled down. They just paid
yeah
everybody. Hey, Nemo, eight
thought they were a
years,
little better than they
160
were.
million. Starler Mate, whatever they gave him. McNeil, whatever they gave him. And I literally think, and I hate to say, I love these guys. Like, I literally rooted for these guys so hard last season. But we saw it in the playoffs last season. They just, boom, did not show up, left their game in the regular season. And so far this season, they ain't found it yet. I mean, Pete Alonso, as great as he is, as great as anybody is in baseball, you need at least 5 players producing to get some wins. And even Francisco Lindor, man, he was one of my favorite players before the trade. I've never been more excited for my team to get a player than Francisco Lindor. But it's like, dude, this ain't the Lindor that was in Cleveland, bro.
Not at all.
What happened, bro?
There's no way he aged that quickly.
Nah, man, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. But there's that old saying, players get played, players get paid, and they never the same.
Yeah, I mean, because truly, obviously, I'm not going to call him out for saying this, but I'm with you because it takes when you wake up in the morning and you're sleeping on that rock bed, you're in the project, you're in all that. It's a lot easier to get up at 4 a.m. and work out than it is when you're on your comfy, nice little mattress that you just got 200 million for. You wake up with a stack of money next to you. You're waking up in your 15-story mansion that has 5 rooms each floor. Like it's a little harder to want to work harder, and that's when it's truly awesome when you see the people like LeBron James who has had all this money for forever, but has that work ethic. Like it truly would be just if everybody could have that work ethic, it would be amazing. But that's what's awesome in sports is that's the separator. It's like some people they get the money and that's about the game. Other people they get money and they think they just take their foot off the gas a little bit. And then I'm not saying Lindor did this at all, by the way, but it's just one of those things where it's like he might have. But maybe he's just not having the best year.
He's just struggling, man. He struggled last season. I mean, he was great. It's just he's not the same Lindor we saw in Cleveland. I'll just say that. He's not the same Lindor in 2018. I was doing commercials talking about I'm hitting 70 home runs this year. He's not the same Lindor that literally was the most electric player in the world.
Man. Your Mets, my Yankees are struggling too, but they're at least like finding ways to put some games together to give me some faith that they can do something. Man, those Mets are just the fact that they beat the Rays, like we just talked about, they almost swept the Rays, and then they're still not beating teams like the Nationals, beating teams like the Rockies. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna need to see them consistently win for like 2 months before I get back on the Mets bus. So give me the Rockies plus 180 tonight. Give me the Pirates plus 133 tonight, and then give me the over 8.5 on the Red Sox and Diamondbacks. Anything you want to say before we get the heck on out of here?
Not much. I really like the Yanks and Cardinals money line. D-backs I'm a little bit scared of, so I'm a little hesitant with that. But yeah, past that, don't got much to say. I appreciate you having me on. Wish you would have taken the Celtics jersey off at some point in the show. I was waiting for it, but you kept it on the whole time. That hurt the feelings a little bit, but
I ain't gonna lie.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that.
You want to know the part that's gonna make it even worse?
You're wearing it again.
This a lucky jersey, bro. Every time I'm in a slump, I pull the jersey out and I win every bet.
Oh, so we're good. All right. So when you're gonna take Heat money line because of the odds on Saturday, we'll be all right. Sweet.
Nah, I definitely think the Heat comes out Saturday.
That's an 86 jersey. That ain't a 2000s jersey. So I rock with the jersey.
Nah, official throwback from 1979.
Yeah, that ain't that Tatum. That ain't that Tatum Brown jersey. So we good.
Nah, man, this is Pistol Pete, baby. Maravich.
I won't lie though. Would have been funny if you came on the show and wore Jason Tatum jersey.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'd slap somebody.
I would have had to humbly call you the best podcaster in the game.
I couldn't wear no New Jersey, bro. I ain't gonna lie,
Hey,
dog. That's a grown man. I can't wear nobody jersey younger than me.
nah, I feel you. It is a little weird.
It feels weird.
Like I can like it's not like one of the things where I'm gonna call you a weirdo and do it because I just bought an Anthony Richardson jersey. Been having this debate to myself if I wear it to games or not. But it's just different, man. Like it's a different mindset where you're sitting there. It's like, man, like I love rooting for the guy and everything, but it's like, man, this dude's like 4 years younger than me, making all this money. Do I really need to be wearing his jersey? Yeah, I think that's why you see all the old people. Like I've thought about it. It's like why you see all the old people in the games wearing them Shaq jerseys. Like I ain't buying a Jason Tatum jersey. I'm 60. You ain't catching me in that garbage. No, it's funny. No, you are right though. It is weird. It is a weird sensation, like to see the people younger than you and be like, man, do I want to like? Because like I support the guy, but it's like, I really want to. I really want to wear this in public.
Right.
But nah, it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Unless it's Tatum.
Nah, I mean it's a few players. I was kind of joking.
No, yeah. No, it's one of those things where it definitely is like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I think it's more weird for like the person wearing it than it is the other people. Like I bet you the other people were just like, oh cool, Tatum jersey. That
Right.
person inside, man, what am I doing? Like, bro, I'm out here acting a fool, looking like an idiot. Yet little does he know that 90-year-old grandpa has a Tatum jersey on and he couldn't even care.
Nah, yeah. I just not
Weird
a fan
feeling.
of the new NBA, man.
No, I'm with you. It's
Oh, you know what? Real
That's
quick
it.
before we get out of here, did you see the Adam Silver interview with KG?
about was it over the jaw thing? Or no? I didn't, but I'm assuming it did
The
nothing.
clip that I heard, it had nothing to do with John Morant, but it
Oh,
literally
no, I
was
did not.
Adam Silver admitting out loud that he ruined the game of basketball for his own personal pleasure. He said, and I quote, "I thought it was getting too physical in the late 90s, and I thought a player like Steph Curry, if you could just bully him, wouldn't be able to show his basketball skills at the highest level. And so changing all the rules, getting players like DeMarcus Cousins and Carmelo Anthony out of the league, and just letting these kids free for all run around and just jack threes, and it's beautiful to him, and he's in love with what he's done. And the NBA will
He actually
forever
came out and said this.
straight up, and even KG was
I
looking.
respect it.
KG was looking at him like,
This motherfucker. He's like, so you're the reason I didn't get an extra 2 years of paychecks. No, honestly, I respect him for coming out and saying this one because like the biggest thing though I will say is I'm glad he's a fan. Like that's the big. I'm glad he's a fan of the game. First off, so at least he can understand it. I don't like how he took the physicality out of it though. I don't agree with that at all. At all. I agree. I do like though. Hey, at least like it came out and said, hey, this is why I've thought. At least he's admitted like, hey, I probably did ruin the game a little bit. Potentially. I like how he's admitted and come out and saying all this about how it's for his pleasure. I kind of don't like that. It's kind of the same thing. I want to bring this up a little bit too, like with Roger Goodell, how he just kind of forced the fair catch kickoff rule, how he kind of pushed that through and that. Like stuff like that, like I guess their job's kind of their power. It's just like I feel like he changed the game just a little too much. Like I feel like he could have lightened down the physicality while still having the physicality. But the one thing I do want to say, now that he came out and said this, I am curious to see if he tries to change it now. I'm curious to see if they go in there and like, all right, hey refs, next season, like, let him get a little checky. Let him try to get a little. I wonder if he tries to bring back a little bit of the physicality. Maybe not because, like he said, he'd like to see the small guys do better. But I am curious to see now, like now that he's come out and said this, because like he's gonna get backlash for it. People are gonna talk to him about it.
yeah,
So I'm
bro.
curious to see how he.
The fact that you
Because I mean,
said just too physical, like for who, bro? For your soft ass?
right? Like, because the biggest thing is too, like they know the NBA is failing. Because I want to say I've never felt more bamboozled or scammed in my life than so 2K came out. Only reason I bought 2K this year is like, hey, if you buy 2K, you like the most expensive version, you get NBA League Pass for $100 versus the like 180, 200 usually is. So I bought it kind of early, and then literally like the day 2K drops or like a month or two before 2K drops, like, hey, we're gonna drop the NBA League Pass by $100. So legit, they scammed everyone into buying that, all that, and that's what made me realize, like, oh, your product's kind of failing. That's why I'm excited to see if he turns it around because, like, regular season, it's getting bad and ugly. We don't even talk about like changing the game. Like, you want to talk about no physicality in the regular season? Like playoffs, I think is a little bit excluded. I think they allow the boys to play, but still, like it's See if you talk about, man, you talk about the playoff. You breathe on a dude wrong, you're getting thrown out with the flagrant too. Like they need to change it. Like you get like I'm not going to say the product's failing because I don't think it's failing, but if you're dropping your league pass price by $100 when the NFL is moving theirs up a little bit more money and all these other places are going up, like there's a problem. I'm like I said, I know I've said it multiple times. I want to see how he fixes this because yeah, I don't understand. Like I just don't get it. How is it too physical? Like yes, maybe there's like don't get me wrong, Michael Jordan coming down the paint and getting like punched in the mouth as he's coming down the paint. Like yeah, maybe we don't need that, but let the boys bang a little. Let the boys bang down low and stuff like that. There's situation. I think it needs situational. There's situational physicality. I think that could have been taken out. Like we don't need guys tackling dudes' legs and undercutting them as they're going for layups, but let the dudes bang around a little bit. Like the LeBron drive against Jamal Murray and whoever it was. I think Jeff Green in the game. All they let him hit. Like that was perfect. Let them bang a little bit. Like they got into it. Got into them. Like yeah, it's just. I'm with you. The NBA needs a whole fixing, and the fact that the commissioner came out and said this, like, because the NFL commissioner just came out and said how he basically forced them to take the rule back another day after they said no, to basically say yes to the rule. Like, I think it's a little bit too much of flexing the power, and I just hope that like he's not ruining the game too much. Because overall, I don't know how you feel. Before I'm sorry, this has been really long winded. I'm curious how you feel. I thought Adam Silver overall, besides that, has done a decently well job at the NBA. I thought he's ran it pretty well. Scandals are down by a lot. A lot of the stuff that we've been having issues with in the past, he's done an amazing job of cleaning up. I just think that he may have gotten a little too friendly with the players, and that's led to some of this.
I think Adam Silver is the worst thing that's ever happened to the NBA. I think.
Oh, you think it's terrible?
Yeah, I can't stand the guy, man. I haven't watched the NBA in over a decade. That just shows you. I mean, besides the playoffs, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I haven't watched a game of any of these Western or Eastern Conference Finals. Once it went 3-0 on both sides, I could care less about it. And the physical part of the game is what made those players special. Anybody can be skilled, but can you do that while getting bumped off of every screen
and being healthy? Yeah,
grabbed?
That brings health into it.
Yeah, man. Can you do that while having somebody literally bully you and try to lock you up? But now it's like defense. You can't even put any kind of presence on them defensively. You're just standing in front of them waiting for the ref to call a whistle on you.
Yeah, the ref literally, like the guy's getting ready to do his dribble on the side of the ref's just waiting for it.
And that's what sucks, man. Offensive players literally could just run into a defensive player and get a foul called on them. Or a defensive player can't bump nobody off the screen. They can't do nothing, man. I miss the physicality of the game. That's what made players great versus good. You saw how physical Melo played. You saw how physical it was even in the early 2000s. It was
look at LeBron. Look at his body type. Look how much he's changed his body. Like he went from thin to back to being. He's like don't get me wrong. He's still big, but like he's had to thin down because like all these NBA stars, like the string bean. We got a bunch of string beans out there. Where are our Alonzo Mournings that had like telephone poles for biceps, or Karl Malone that had biceps that were touching his pecs? Like. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing you notice too, and just the physicality is just the body types.
Because they don't need to be
like
physical.
Because like I don't want to say this makes me wonder. I know we're ending here soon, so I don't want to make this too long. You know how Steph Curry, he was injured a lot at the beginning of his career, and then magically all of a sudden the injuries just stopped. Like, do you think that has to be in part because the physicality has gone down, right?
I think
like that's got to be
it's part of that, but I also think Steph Curry spent a lot of time and a lot of money. And he completely changed his body build, and he got.
This isn't just sorry. Yeah, I just want to say cut you off for this is not specifically just for him. This is an example because he's a small player that's built like that. Yeah. I think truly, I'm with you. I think he did spend on his body, but I do wonder if like the injuries, for like the little guys, like I do wonder if like now we've seen. Just I don't know. It's just something I thought about. It made me like think a little bit. It's like,
but they've always been small players. If there was a dog, they was a beast, bro. Tim Hardaway's, John Starks,
Bugsy.
Allen Iverson, Muggsy Bulls, like if you could go into the damn jungle and rumble, you gonna come out alive, bro.
I love that. Go into the jungle and rumble. Hey,
yeah,
you're right though.
These kids, this generation, they get to the tree line and they start looking through the trees like, oh, I don't know.
That tiger over there looks kind of scary. Meanwhile, they go 500 yards. It's a Savannah cat. That's not even gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah, I think I would love like. I think the thing I would love the most, if we could just maybe get like 20, 30 games of it. You take guys from the 90s, like we'll just say every team from the 90s, basically. Like every team from the 90s, every team from like this era, and you just have them play each other occasionally. Like every team plays every team once, basically. I would just love, because I bet you record wise, I want to say the older teams probably edge them out just barely, due to the fact that like some of those younger teams aren't going to be able to shoot, and them boys are just going to get bullied down low. Like I would love to see like, because nowadays, because I know you'll get imagined. I would love like, what do you think Karl Malone would do to some of these boys in the paint? Like they're getting nasty down there.
Karl Malone would be the greatest player alive today. Like he would literally be the GOAT of all GOATs. Anybody from that era, you could take the worst big man from that era.
I will never forget. Anytime I think of the eras, I'll think about this era, and I think about like your boy Devin Booker, and some of the boys in the Suns that are like this. And then you think of like I'll always like first guy I think of when I think of the old days, Karl Malone. That's just like strapped. It's like, bro, that dude's in the gym doing 100 bicep curls before the game, and then drinking a Coke. It's crazy. You know what? It's just crazy to think that this is like something we can. It's just crazy to think how technology has gotten better. All this has gotten better, but physically we're a little worse.
That's just the human nature, though, in every aspect of life. The more technology that comes in, the less physical humans have to be, and the less physical you are, the more fragile you are, the less sustainable it is. Before you know it, I think by the time I die, 40 years from now, this world will be nothing.
Damn, you're cutting your life short.
70?
Yeah, you're cutting it off at 70. You aren't gonna get to 90.
Both my parents died in their 50s, bro.
Hey, optimism, baby. We get into 90. We got a podcast to run.
This is Captain by a Hook, baby. This is my man JCP, Jaden Chandler Parnell, every Friday.
Appreciate you for having me on again. Always.
Rocking with you live. Take all wagers at your own risk, and please gamble responsibly.